Hello, you must be here for some corrective exercises, specifically for your knees, your hips, and your hamstrings. That means one of two things. Either one, you're my client that this video was made for, so welcome. I'm glad you're here. I hope you use this enough times that you memorize it and can just go and do it on your own too. Or two, you just stumbled upon this video because you have problems in one of those areas. Either way, let's get right into it. Our first movement is going to be the 90-90 knee drive. Now this is going to take about 2 minutes because we got to do it on both sides. Next is the hamstring extension exercise. Now this is the weirdest hamstring extension you've ever done. If you're used to the ones in the gym, this is not that at all. From there, we're going into our section of CARs. Now CAR stands for corrective arthrokinematic rotation. That just means healthy joint movement, okay? We're gonna take a few joints throughout their full range of motion and their natural range of motion. Last but not least, I'm going to show you the king of squat corrective exercises, which is the squat to stand. This is gonna help with your ankle mobility. This is gonna help with your knee stability. It's gonna help with your hip range of motion, your T-spine flexibility and control. And overall, it's gonna really increase and improve the squat as an entire exercise. To begin the 90-90 knee drive, we're gonna need to meet right down here on the floor. Now that you're here, let's get into our 90-90 position. We have a few checkpoints, but keep in mind, every angle should be 90 degrees. So I'll go ahead and I'll assume the 90-90 position, and then I'll instruct you how to get into it. So what we're looking for is both of our legs spread out from us, okay? So I'm sitting on my right side first, so my right butt cheek should stay on contact with the floor the whole time. It's gonna come out and create a 90-degree angle in this groin area, okay? From there, I'm gonna bend my knee. I'm gonna keep that at a 90-degree angle as well. And then my foot should be flexed at all times, keeping it at a 90-degree angle, okay? So then I'm just gonna mirror the same thing on the opposite side. I got the 90-degree angle in the groin, in the knees, and in the ankles. If it's not a good 90 degree, then go ahead and get into it, okay? You can use your hands, and you should use your hands to support yourself the entire time. So let's get right into it now that we're in this position. The first thing is we are going to spend about 30 seconds just sitting here, all right? I got my timer going. I'm gonna sit upright. Like I said, I'm gonna use my hands to support myself the whole time. Yes, I could sit up without any support if I wanted to, but we wanna focus on other parts of our body too, and we're gonna be moving, okay? Right now, you could technically call this a stretch. It's a static hold, so this is pretty much a stretch. And then we're gonna go into actual mobility. A lot of times people stretch and they'll roll out, call it mobility. That is stretching and myofascial release. Mobility requires movement, so that's what we're about to do. So what we're about to go into is a segment of pushing and pulling. We're driving that knee into the floor or pulling that knee up to the ceiling, okay? So here we go for our first segment in 2, 1, and push that knee into the ground. Drive that knee, drive it as hard as you can. Keep going, keep going. We got 5 more seconds. We want 10 seconds each drive, each pull. 2, 1, and now we're going right into the pull, guys. Big pull, big pull. Act like someone's pulling a string from above you and they're trying to rip that knee into the ceiling. Keep going, keep going. 2, 1, and now we relax, okay? We're gonna do 10 seconds of relaxing. 1 more cycle of push and pull, okay? Here we go in 3, 2, 1, and now let's get that big push, drive that knee into the floor, try to break that floor apart, guys. Keep going. We got 5 more seconds. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, and now big pull, big pull, big pull. Keep going, keep going. Doing good, doing good. We got it. 5 more seconds on this pull. Okay, remember, someone's pulling that knee into that ceiling. Keep going. We're going 1, and relax, okay? We're gonna spend about 20 seconds now relaxing, and then we'll switch over and do this again on the next side, okay? So here I am set up on the opposite side. I again have all of my 90 points in line. We got ankle, knee, groin, knee, ankle, all showing 90-degree angles, okay? I'm gonna use my hands to support myself the whole time. This is also a good position where we can figure out the differences that are happening on each side of our body, okay? So this might feel a little more tight. The other side might have felt more tight, but you're gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna explain it to you and we'll move on to the next movement so we can keep this video a little shorter. What you're gonna do is 30 seconds of sitting in this position. Then you're going to do a 10-second knee drive into the floor as hard as you can for 10 seconds. Immediately after that, you go into a 10-second segment of pulling the knee off the floor, okay? Remember, someone's pulling your knee into the ceiling with a string, okay? Nice big pull, 10 seconds, relax 10 seconds. Then repeat that cycle, 10 seconds down, 10 seconds up, and then do 10 to 20 seconds of relax, and then you're good, okay? Now, once you're done with that, so go ahead, pause the video, finish that up. Once you're done, let it play, and we're gonna go right into the next movement. All right, moving on to the hamstring extension. Now, this one's the shortest one at only 30 seconds, but it's also probably gonna be a bit more uncomfortable than the rest of them, which is okay. We want it to be that way. We wanna see where we're at. Remember, like I said at the beginning, this is our baseline, all right? We're gonna use this to measure how much progress we're making, okay? So pay attention to the deficiencies, pay attention to where you're tight. I'll let you know right now, complete disclosure, I am very tight in my hamstrings normally. I do have an ACL injury, which keeping a nice tight and large hamstring is a lot better for, but it's no excuse for my left leg, okay? So this is a movement that even I could benefit from. So let's get right into it, okay? Like I said, 30 seconds, let's get right down onto the floor, flat on our backs. Now that we're flat on our backs, we can go ahead and get right into it. Again, just like the 90-90s, we're gonna have to have a few 90-degree positions. First one is right here in our hips. We get that nice 90. Second one is right here in those knees, okay? The movement's super simple, but it requires some good deep breathing. I want you to breathe in through the belly and breathe out through the belly. I like to sometimes keep my hands right on my core. That lets me feel the breathing, okay? So I take a deep breath in. And then when I breathe out, I extend one leg. And I breathe in on the way down and out on the way up. All right, very simple movement, and you're only gonna do it for 30 seconds. So, once you're done with that 30 seconds, you get to move on to the next one. That's gonna be our car portion. So let's get into this spine car right away. First thing we're gonna do is get into this all fours position. So once I'm onto my all fours position, I'm gonna make sure that my wrist is in line with my elbow and my shoulder. This is called stacking the joints. And then I wanna do the same thing with my knees and my hips, okay? We're gonna make sure that these joints are nice and stacked. Maybe the first time, do this in front of a mirror. Very easy exercise. What you're gonna do is we're gonna do a nice big curvature of our whole spine all the way to our head, okay? So you see this big hollowed out shape I have? That's where we're gonna end up, but we're gonna move super slow. We're gonna imagine we're going vertebrae by vertebrae, from down by our tailbone all the way up to our skull, okay guys? So let's go ahead and let's get right into it. You can see that what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna start by sticking that butt up, okay? Get that butt nice and tight, and then I'm gonna start squeezing that low back. Can feel it in the low back. I want to keep that constant tension. I'm going up into the mid back, that bottom of the thoracic spine. Now my lats are engaging. My shoulder blades are squeezing together. Got a nice full tightness in my back. And now here comes the neck. Okay, I'm keeping that whole back tight the whole time. Comes the neck all the way up to full extension. And then I'll even look up with my eyes. And from this position, I'm just gonna start by looking back down. I'm gonna let that neck start to come back, return to a natural position. And then the tops of my shoulder blades get a little looser. Still got my lats engaged, but now all my shoulder blades are nice and loose. My lats are starting to engage. I'm back down at that bottom thoracic spine into the lower back. Here we go. Now it's starting to fully unravel. And then we get all the way back down to that tailbone, okay? Until that butt drops. Boom. Good. Now, and even in my movements, you might have noticed places where there are little gaps where maybe it kind of jumps a few vertebrae. Pay attention to that because those will go away with time. You're going to do the up and down twice. Now let's move on to the next car, the standing hip car. Now onto the second and last car. It's gonna be that hip car, okay? So we gotta do this standing, so make sure you got something next to you that you can hold on to and keep your balance. I'm gonna go ahead and do the movement and explain it as I do it. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clench my fist, the one that's not holding the wall. I'm gonna keep my right leg nice and straight because I'm gonna move with my left leg. I'm gonna come up forward, see the hips flexing, the knee has flexed to 90, and then I come out to 90 once that hip reaches 90. Then boom, I hit this new position. My foot starts to come up and back, and now it's all rotating behind me. Okay, you see how the foot is now behind? From this position, I'm gonna let the foot drop, come back to standing, okay? Here we go. Now we're gonna do the same thing in reverse, okay? Try to move this speed, if not slower, all right? Got that hip up, got that knee bent, coming back forward and back down. Now that's one. We're gonna do this car portion 2 times on each side, okay? And that goes for the same thing with the spine car, twice. So you'll do spine car up and down twice, hip car, both sides, both directions, twice, all right? Now that we've done that, let's move on to our last one, the squat to stand. All right, here we are at our final exercise, the squat to stand. This is the best one, and it's gonna correct that squat so quickly. First things first, start with your feet nice and wide, okay? Wider than a normal squat you would normally do. Reach up to the sky, reach back, and now reach forward, okay? Keeping those legs straight, the spine can flex. We're gonna come forward, grab onto our ankles. If you can't reach the ankles, you grab the shins. We're gonna grab onto the ankles. Nice deep squat. Arms as high as they can go, stand up, okay? We're gonna do this a total of 4 times, but watch. When I get to the 3rd rep, imagine this is my 3rd rep, I'm gonna reach down, no ankles, I'm gonna grab my toes, go a little bit lower, I'm gonna squat down, arms up, and stand. And just in case you couldn't see it, when I grab those ankles or those toes, I keep holding on to them during the entire squat until it's time to raise my arms up overhead, okay? Now that was it. Like I said, this should take about 6.5 minutes total. I know this video was a little bit long. Hopefully you only have to watch it about 2 or 3 times. Listen, if you know anyone else who's going through the same stuff, hit the share button, copy the link, send it to them, okay? Maybe even just share this on your Facebook. You could help so many other people. Listen, client, I hope this really helps you out. We're gonna keep in touch. Let's see how this goes after the first week. Make sure you're keeping up with it, and then we'll keep progressing on forward. Hey, if you're not my client, I appreciate you for watching this video anyways. Hit that share button though.